We'll use the management utility to load an executable file onto client machines and to set up a desktop icon to run the executable. Just for our example here, we're going to use Notepad. Creating the desktop icon is done by a Visual Basic script. You could reuse this script for other executables by changing the name of the link and also changing the name of the executable file and the local directory where you want to load it. We also use a Windows batch file that creates the directory on the client machine where we want to put the executable. Then it copies the executable from the network share to the local machine and then uses cscript to run the Visual Basic script that makes the desktop icon. We've specified our network share here. You'll want to change that to use your own network share. Now, in this case, to reduce the clutter in our network shared directory, we're going to make a subfolder in our applications directory, a subfolder called Notepad, and we'll load the Notepad executable and the Visual Basic script into that subdirectory. And you can see we've specified that subdirectory in our batch file. Load the Notepad executable and the Visual Basic script. Now the batch file, the Windows batch file, we're just going to load that into our apps directory. The batch file is the file that Management Utilities third-party software installation is going to run. So we want to have that in the same directory where the file dep.svc.exe is already present. So we have the Windows batch file in the apps directory, and then the Visual Basic script and the notepad.exe in our Notepad subfolder. We'll browse to Management Utilities and create a third-party software installation template. We'll enter the template name, Notepad. The target platform is Windows. The authentication template is the one that gives us access to the network share and the client machines. And since that's our usual network share, the path is filled in. We click the Find Files button, and we choose the Windows batch file installed notepad.bat. Click the Add button. Verify the name of the batch file and the file path. Save the changes to our template. To make sure everything's working correctly, let's install on a single machine. We'll click the machine, then right-click, and choose Deploy Third-Party Software. The authentication template is Windows Admin, and then we choose our Notepad third-party installation template. Click OK, and then run the job. Now, after a few minutes, the job is finished, and we can review the job status message to verify that it was successful. On the desktop of the client machine, here's our icon. Double-click it, and it starts Notepad. You would use this same process to install other executables by modifying the Visual Basic script and the batch file. You could also set up a job that will deploy to groups of machines, and you can set it up as a recurring job that runs on a regular schedule.